Born September 29, 1901, Rome, Italy, and died November 28, 1954, in Chicago, Illinois, USA. He was chief architect of the nuclear age and developed the mathematics to clarify this atomic phenomenon. He continued his work by creating the first chain reaction of uranium. By doing this, he proved that nuclear transformation can occur with almost every element. In his early life, he got his doctorate, and later he studied in Germany, thanks to multiple foundations that helped him progress even further. He later returned to Italy in 1924 and became a physics professor in the University of Florence. In between 1926 and 1927, Fermi and a fellow physicist developed a new statistic alone called the Fermi-Dirac statistic to handle the subatomic particles set up by the Pauli exclusion principle. Three elements were named after him, and they were called fermions due to his contributions in the field, especially when quantum mechanics were first being applied. And in 1927, he gathered a group of talented students to help about them. They all liked him so much, they even called him the Pope. And in 1929, the Prime Minister thought of him as a rising star and gave him a substantially higher salary and the title of Excellent. In the late 1920s, at very finishing them, Fermi exchanged his focus onto nuclear physics after he realized that the atomic physics field is starting to exhaust itself. After switching, and a few years later, a French couple found artificial radioactivity caused by alpha particles. Fermi reasoned that a neutral neutron would work even better, though. Later, he and a partner worked together and subjected 60 elements into neutron bombardments using the Geiger-Müller counter to detect emissions and conduct chemical analysis to the new types of radioactivity produced. Unfortunately, Fermi had to move from his homeland due to his wife being Jewish and Italy fostering the anti-Semitism policy from Germany. Fermi and his wife settled in New York, and afterwards he found his job again in New Jersey in the University of Columbia. He started his new life there. Shortly after Fermi moved, the nuclear reactor was discovered and built by Americans to produce energy and building the atomic bomb. A lot later, in 1944, he became a citizen and moved to Los Alamos in Mexico and helped with another project, the Manhattan Project, whose mission was to fashion out weapons out of the rare uranium-235 isotope and plutonium. After this project, he got a position to work in the University of Chicago, and even though he disagreed and didn't like politics, he worked with one group called JC, which controlled the 5 commissions of atomic energy. In September 1949, after the Soviets launched their first nuclear weapon, the government was encouraging them to build a thermonuclear weapon. Fermi and his partner decided that this weapon is considered genocide, but they still did it because the current president thought it was the right thing to do. And after that, he moved back to Chicago, and known as the Great Teacher, he taught himself about many questions, and that was the end of his great story.